In the early stages of World War II, the rapid development of mechanized warfare forced major powers to reassess the role of artillery. Unlike the previous trench warfare, this conflict demanded high mobile forces to close coordination between infantry, armor, and artillery. However, traditional towed artillery proved slow and inflexible, especially on vast battlefields such as North Africa. Faced with the blitzkrieg tactics of Germany and the effectiveness of self-propelled guns like the SPG and Marder, the British Army was compelled to urgently enhance mobile firepower. The self-propelled gun Bishop was born as a stopgap solution to meet this need, officially named the Ordnance QF 25-pounder on Carrier Valentine 25-pounder Mk1. Bishop combined the Valentine tank chassis with the British artillery's familiar QF 25-pounder gun. This design was not part of a long-term plan, but a rapid response to frontline demands in North Africa in 1941. While it addressed immediate needs, Bishop soon revealed several shortcomings and was produced in limited numbers. It was quickly replaced by more modern models such as the Sexton and M7 Priest, becoming a typical example of Britain's reactive approach during the early phase of mechanized artillery modernization. In 1941, the North African battlefield created an urgent need for mobile artillery capable of keeping pace with armored units across the vast desert terrain. The British 8th Army proposed developing a self-propelled gun using the QF 25-pounder, the standard weapon of British artillery, but with greater mobility compared to the traditional towed version. The Birmingham Railway Carriage and the Wagon Company was designed to design and produce the new vehicle. To shorten development time, the Valentine Mk2 tank chassis was chosen as the base. The original turret was replaced with a fixed box-shaped superstructure large enough to accommodate the gun and its crew. This design both utilized available materials and met technical requirements within a short time frame. The first prototype was completed in August 1941, just 2 months after the project was launched. Positive test results led the British command to place an order for 100 units in November. Another 50 were added in 1942, bringing the total to around 150 vehicles. Plans to produce an additional 200 units were cancelled when Britain gained access to the American M7 Priest self-propelled gun, a more modern alternative. The name Bishop originated from the shape of the superstructure, which was said to resemble a bishop's hat. Naming conventions based on religious titles were also used for other self-propelled guns such as Deacon, Priest, and Sexton. Bishop marked an initial step in Britain's mechanized artillery modernization under the pressure of war. The Bishop self-propelled gun was developed on the chassis of the Valentine Mk2 infantry tank, powered by an AEC A190 6-cylinder diesel engine producing 131 horsepower. Weighing approximately 17.5 tons, the vehicle could reach a top speed of around 24 kilometers per hour on flat terrain, with an operational range of 145 kilometers. Its Horstman suspension system with road wheel assemblies ensured stable movement, despite a power-to-weight ratio of about 7.4 horsepower per ton. The Bishop's main armament was the QF 25-pounder gun, with a caliber of 87.6 millimeters. Mounted in a fixed box-shaped superstructure, the gun had an elevation range from -5 to +15 degrees, allowing an effective maximum firing range of around 5.9 kilometers. The gun's horizontal traverse was limited to 8 degrees, sufficient for engaging targets within a narrow sector, while the ammunition load carrier was 32 rounds. It could fire both high explosive and armor-piercing shells. Secondary armament included a .303-inch Bren machine gun for a close defense. The Bishop's armor was made of steel plates, ranging from 8 to 60 millimeters on the hull and from 13 to 51 millimeters on the superstructure. A distinctive feature was the fully enclosed roof of the superstructure, which enhanced crew protection from overhead threats such as shell fragments and air attacks. The structure also had two large rear doors, typically opened during firing to facilitate loading and venting of gases. The Bishop had a four-man crew consisting of a commander, driver, gunner, and loader. While the driver sat at the front in a position similar to the Valentine tank, the other three crew members operated within the superstructure. With a height reaching 3 meters, the box-shaped superstructure provided ample space for the gun and crew, as well as solid protection, although it significantly increased the vehicle's overall height. Measuring 5.64 meters in length, 2.77 meters in width, and 3 meters in height, the Bishop was among the tallest self-propelled guns of World War II. Its official designation, Ordnance QF 25-pounder on Carrier Valentine 25-pounder Mk1, reflected the combination of the QF 25-pounder gun and Valentine chassis in a uniquely mechanized design of British artillery. The Bishop self-propelled gun was first deployed in combat during the Second Battle of El Alamein in October 1942, one of the most pivotal clashes on the North African front. There, the Bishop provided fire support for British armored units, particularly the 23rd Armed Brigade. The shared Valentine chassis between the two vehicles facilitated maintenance and supply efforts. Batteries 275 and 276 of the 121st Field Regiment, Royal Artillery, were among the first units equipped with the Bishop at that time. The self-propelled gun continued to serve in the Desert Campaign until 1943. After the North African Campaign ended, the Bishop was used in Italy during the early stages of the Peninsula Campaign. A historical photograph shows the Bishop near the town of Cava on September 28, 1943, marking its ongoing role in amphibious assaults and offensives in hilly terrain. During this period, units operating the Bishop began transitioning to newer, self-propelled guns such as the American-made M7 Priest and the British-Canadian Sexton, which are more widely deployed and better suited to evolving combat requirements. Although its service was relatively brief, the Bishop contributed to major campaigns and demonstrated significant fire support capabilities for British infantry and armor in the war's early years. The Bishop self-propelled gun was gradually phased out primarily due to design limitations that affected its combat effectiveness. Its limited range, slow speed, and tall profile made the vehicle easy to spot on the battlefield, reducing its mobility and flexibility in response. This process was accelerated by the arrival of Lend-Lease aid vehicles, notably the American M7 Priest, which offered stronger firepower and superior mobility despite using different ammunition. At the same time, the Sexton, a self-propelled gun developed by Canada and Britain, also played a key role in replacing the Bishop. The Sexton used the same 25-pounder gun but was mounted on a more mobile chassis and featured an improved gun elevation system, effectively overcoming the Bishop's range limitations. After withdrawal from the front lines, remaining Bishop vehicles were reassigned to training roles, helping crews familiarize themselves with self-propelled artillery tactics and operations before transitioning to more modern vehicles. Some reports indicate that around 48 Bishops were sold to Turkey in 1943, supporting allied or neutral nations while managing outdated equipment. By 1944, most Bishops had been retired from frontline combat units of the British Army. In the historical context of self-propelled artillery development, the Bishop represented one of Britain's early efforts to meet the urgent need for mobile fire support during the early stages of the Second World War. It played a significant role as a design and operational learning platform, highlighting limitations in gun layout and vehicle profile. Factors that would be significantly improved in later models, such as the Sexton. Although the Bishop had numerous limitations and served only briefly, it contributed valuable operational experience to the British Army, paving the way for more successful self-propelled artillery systems. It is also regarded as a stopgap solution tailored to immediate wartime demands, as well as an effective training platform during the transition to more advanced artillery systems. The Bishop self-propelled gun was an improvised solution to the urgent demands of the North African battlefield, delivering mobile firepower at a time when alternatives were scarce. However, its effectiveness was constrained by a design riddled with limitations. As one of Britain's earliest steps toward modern self-propelled artillery, Bishop reflected the challenges of rapid wartime adaptation. The development and service history of the Bishop offered several key lessons. Effective design must be comprehensive. Proper integration between gun and chassis is essential. The chassis significantly influences overall performance. Wartime technology and tactics evolve rapidly, and hastily implemented solutions may limit combat effectiveness. The Bishop underscored the importance of balancing speed of development with sound design principles to ensure battlefield success.